don't know if we could quite extend Victory Monday out to a Victory Tuesday, because I think I'm already on to the Baltimore Ravens. As we get ready for this game, you're facing arguably the best team in the AFC. You saw some good things from the Browns on Sunday, certainly some things that are of concern. And one of the things that I have brought up that I'm concerned about, Kevin Stefanski was asked about yesterday, and that was the receiving corps. Is there enough on this team behind Amari Cooper to give Deshaun Watson the weapons that he needs to be able to put up points for the Browns to compete and make the AFC playoffs? We believe that's the goal. We think the Browns are in a good spot right now to do that. I think there's a question to be had. Can they win the division? We'll get to an executive. Jeremy Fowler went around NFL executives, cast their vote on who they think is going to win each division. I'll tell you who the AFC North. We'll run through all the divisions, to be honest with you. Is that still something for the Browns to get that done? We'll see. Jed Will's update, better than maybe we expected, but certainly some things we got to worry about, how they're filling in with that. We got 2 for Tuesday. Our bracket is hot and heavy this morning on your favorite music video of all time. We'll get to Time Hop. We'll get to the morning update. Guardians hiring Stephen Vogt as their new manager. We'll get to all of it right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Happy to be with you this beautiful Tuesday morning. 2 for Tuesday, so we always have 2 questions, 2 answers. We'll get to that coming up. I'll retweet at MattFontana83 our bracket of the week, which is your favorite music video, because we got into Thriller last week in Time Hop, so we thought about it, and Thriller is the number 1 seed. But just early on the results, Ryan, Thriller, Sabotage, We're Not Gonna Take It, Purple Rain, Hot for Teacher, Staying Alive, Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. It's a jam. They're all good songs, too. California Love, Tupac. So if you have any other suggestions on your favorite music video of all time, and I consider myself pretty worldly. You know, I know a lot on pop culture. I love trivia. Some people sent us just GIFs, Ryan, and I don't know what the GIFs are. I think the one is Nirvana, I think.
Let me go take a look.
Like, shout out to, like, Steve and Mike and Amanda and John. They just straight up, like, sent us the songs. That's nice and easy for us. Connie, without a doubt, Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel. It's a great one. Multiple votes for Hot for Teacher, Sabotage. Okay, the White Snake one from Eric, I got that. White Snake, not Living on a Prayer. That is Bon Jovi. White Snake, Here I Go Again. That is, I think, one of the favorites. Scroll up a little bit. You're on our Twitter. You're on the feed. Not Freak on a Leash. Wait, keep going. Where is it? Go down. That one.
This one?
That one from Radu. I appreciate the tweet.
It does look like Kurt from the back.
I think it's but I can't tell if that is. I can't tell if that Smells Like Teen Spirit. I'm assuming it is because, well, I tell you what, we should probably put Smells Like Teen Spirit in there. They're in there. That's it. That is what it is. That is what it is. You want to throw that in somewhere? Yep. We only have a couple open spots left. So tweet at us quick, Ryan Tyler 33. I'm at Matt Fontana 83. We'll get to that coming up. We'll dive into the Browns. So it's an interesting piece of artwork you have behind you there, Ryan.
We're officially a hate club for a certain team because, Matt, I told you it was going to be one team that totally ruined your parlay for you. And what happened?
26-leg parlay on Tipico. And just VCU. Just Virginia Commonwealth.
It was bound to happen, Matt.
Can I send you this picture quick?
Do it.
You will look. This is out of my app on Tipico. And you will see everything checked. Everything hit in our 26-leg parlay. Except the Virginia Commonwealth University. Are they the Rams? I don't even want to acknowledge them. I don't even want to bring them up this morning on the show. Yeah, I was only for $60. So what? I'm still out $60 in my Tipico account. Is Shaka Smart still there?
No.
Long gone? Is he at
Texas? Yeah.
It tells you how much I know about college basketball.
He's been gone for a few years.
Oh, no. He's not even there anymore. He's at Marquette.
Oh, yeah, he is. He is. I forgot.
He's at Marquette. Who's the Virginia Commonwealth head coach? Ryan Odom. Bad start, Rye.
What an awful name, first name.
Yeah, terrible. Guy clearly knows nothing about basketball. Damn it! Ryan's getting it all set up for us. You will see what my Tipico app looked like this morning when I checked it. Look at that. Every single thing is green except one little X.
What's that X, Matt?
Virginia Commonwealth.
Oh, man.
I can't even remember who they lost to. God, I'm so angry. McNeese State, Ryan. They lost to McNeese State. They were minus 700. I didn't ask them to cover. I asked them to win. They lost by 9. I'm sorry, they lost by 11. They were outscored in the first half by 12, and they couldn't come back. They're on my list, man.
Did you just wake up and, like, first thing you did, check it?
Well, like last night I was watching Monday Night Football, and I thought about it, and I wanted to check because we talked about it yesterday. And our second 2 for Tuesday will be NCAA or college or pro basketball. And my vote is very much clear, pro basketball. I don't watch college basketball. I'm not a big college basketball fan at all. So I was not watching, and I thought about it. I'm like, it'd probably be bad karma if I was checking, these scores. So I go, you know what? I'm just going to go to sleep, and I'll wake up and I'll check. I woke up this morning, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Now, of how I did that parlay, it was 26 of the biggest favorites. Like, the majority of them were minus 1,000, minus 1,500. They were insane favorites. And that was my whole point. I thought it was free money. College basketball, yeah, you can get upsets, but usually, and that's the thing. People are like, I didn't even have Michigan State in there. Michigan State got upset. I didn't even put Michigan State in there. They weren't even a part of it. I could fill out a 26-leg parlay of all the favorites, and I didn't even put Michigan State in there. It was Virginia Commonwealth that screwed me. So, yes, that sign will stay up for the remainder of the show. And this show will now be an anti-Virginia Commonwealth show. I know nothing of them or what they do, but
we need to get a beat reporter for them on the show.
I don't want. No, I don't want to give them. No, not at all. I refuse to give them anything. I can't even tell you a player that's come out of Virginia Commonwealth. I'm looking at their all-time leaders. I got nothing for you. Man. Guess how many players they have in the NBA right now? Two. Bones Highland, who plays for the Nuggets, and then Vince Williams Jr. He's on a 2-way contract with Memphis. Kind of wish they were there. Maybe they wouldn't have lost to McNeese State last night. You jerks. So nonetheless, do we have college basketball tonight? I'm assuming we do. Maybe we just roll it on back. We'll see how it goes. Download your Tipico app. I wouldn't have been so mad if it was like bonus bets. You can get those. Download Tipico. Use that code BigPlay150. Get your bonus bets there with our friends at Tipico. We turn our attention back to the Cleveland Browns this morning as we gear up, getting ready for the Baltimore Ravens. Sorry, we have more votes coming in. Cody says sabotage is in. Don't worry about it. Bones says Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun. It is a little trippy. We only have like one spot left, I think. Two spots?
2 spots.
All right, get your votes in at Matt Fontana 83, at Ryan Tyler 33. We'll get to that coming up later. To the Browns, biggest news yesterday was Jed Wills. So he's going to be out sometime. 6 weeks, it sounds like. He's going to go on IR. James Hudson will get your first crack at that job. That's fine. And I think you're going to have to piecemeal that together. You don't really have a choice. He's out. I think at worst, if it really goes bad after a couple of games with James Hudson out there, then maybe you slide Joel Bitonio out there. And they did that for, was it the playoff? No. It was late in that 2020 season. Joel Bitonio has played left tackle. And I know that, yes, then you then have a hole at left guard. They'll figure that out. That was something that is probably the best news you could get. But, Ryan, we only have 9 games left, and Jed Will's going to miss 6 weeks. Like, I would assume you're operating that he's going to be out for the rest of the season. They have guys on the practice squad. It sucks. And it goes back to the pieces that this team is missing. There are a lot of teams that have missed a lot of players, but you're going to be going the majority of the season now without your starting 2 tackles. And that's a tough road to go, but the Browns will figure that out. The other thing that came out yesterday from Kevin Stefanski, and shout out to Tony Grossi. I've worked with Tony for a long time. I love Tony, and I appreciated him basically asking the 2 questions that I have brought up on this show for a couple of days now. The receivers and the short passes for Deshaun Watson. I want to start with the receivers here. So we sent the clip out this morning. I said yesterday, coming out of that game on Sunday, I now have a real concern about the Browns receiving core outside of Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper's doing great. He's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. He's playing like it. He's a true number 1. Who else do you have? You traded away Donovan Peoples-Jones. I didn't like it. I still don't like it. You're not finding Elijah Moore. Marquise Goodwin is now in concussion protocol, and you're going to lean on Cedric Tillman, who, yes, is a 3rd-round pick, has a body type. I'm excited to have Cedric Tillman here, but I just think that's a tough position to put him in. And now you have brought back your franchise quarterback. When I look around the league, you see the elite quarterbacks have multiple weapons. A lot of times it's a tight end. Okay, I think we have that with David Njoku, or at least you should. But I'm drunk on Tua's got Waddle and Tyreek. Jalen Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Mahomes has Kelsey, who's in his own right, but they even have, like, receivers that Mahomes is, I think, on his special level that he can create these guys. He's like a little like Tom Brady, where he can take some of these guys and create them into something. You know what I mean?
Could you go out on the field with Mahomes and score a touchdown, you think?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think I could. Probably. I don't know what route it would be. I'll put that at any read, but I probably could do it. And then Joe Burrow. He's got T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and, of course, Tyler Boyd. You know, Lamar doesn't, okay? He's got
Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers. Who's the other one I'm thinking of there? Rashad Bateman. Bateman's fine. Odell's fine. Yeah, that bad fumble this past weekend for Odell. But even Lamar is a little bit different. Should it bother me? Is this something that should bother me? And we'll post our 2 for Tuesday. Before we get too far, Ryan, let's hear from Kevin Stefanski. So the question yesterday to Kevin Stefanski was basically, are you worried that this is just Amari Cooper and then everybody else and not distributing the football enough? Here's Kevin Stefanski, sound courtesy of the Browns from yesterday.
I don't know that I really spend a lot of time thinking about the stats of it. I think we know, the opposing team knows Amari's a good football player. He gets a ton of attention. That opens up other opportunities. But like we talked about yesterday, the ball goes where the ball goes. It's just based on coverage. All our guys are doing what they're supposed to do. And when the ball finds their way, we have a ton of trust in all of our receivers, tight ends, you name them.
But eventually, Kevin, yes, they are going to take Amari Cooper away. And I'm not saying that teams haven't been trying to do that, but you will face secondaries better than the Colts and better than the Arizona Cardinals. And you are going to finally get to teams that I believe will say, we'll let somebody else beat us. And to Stefanski's point, maybe that's when David Njoku will step up, or that's when they'll start getting into Elijah Moore. I'm concerned, man. I'm really concerned. And there are games, I mean, it's pretty, like, I'm looking at Amari Cooper's box scores right now, okay? This season, he has 3 games that he has at least 100 yards in. Do you want to guess what the common denominator in all 3 of those games are, Ryan? The Browns won all 3 of those games. 116 against the Titans, 108 against San Francisco, and 139 this past weekend against the Arizona Cardinals. He only put up 22 in that win against Indy, which, when we kind of look back on it, that was a defensive win. And in the season opener, in that slop fest against Cincinnati, he only had 37 yards. In the losses, 90-16 against the Ravens, which was 6 targets for just 1 reception, and 89 yards against the Seattle Seahawks. So if you even want to just look at the Baltimore game, I would assume that Baltimore will bring back the same game plan. where they held Amari Cooper on 6 targets to 1 reception for 16 yards. Now, stop right there. Who was playing quarterback in that game? Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And I understand that. And you believe that Deshaun Watson will elevate that play. I don't like this. I'm sorry, I don't. Going into last week, the Browns receiving core only had 1 touchdown. That was Amari. When Amari scored this past weekend, that was only the 2nd touchdown thrown to wide receivers for the Cleveland Browns. And I'm going to make the statement right now. I'm going to stop talking about Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's not here. They made the trade. We move on. But I do look at the rest of them. Has the Elijah Moore experiment been a failure at this point? Yeah. Is there time for them to find out what he can do for this team? Maybe. Is Deshaun Watson the magic elixir? Is he the big old piece of duct tape that's just going to fix this and he'll start getting the football to everybody else? And the final part, do you really need that? People could try to make the case to me that you can live with just Amari Cooper and David Njoku. I don't know if I quite buy that. So we're going to post this on Twitter, at Matt Fontana Show. Our first 2 for Tuesday. Again, every 2 for Tuesday as we do it. 2 questions, 2 answers. Number 1, are you concerned about the Browns receiving core outside of Amari Cooper? So we know what Amari Cooper is. We know how good he is. Are you concerned that they don't have enough outside of him? As I'm clearly speaking here, Ryan, yes, I am. I am. And like just even to a minimum level, even to a bare minimum level, do the Browns have enough? They have a clear bona fide number 1. Okay. Let's start there. There have been years we haven't even had that. And you just had a group of guys, Jags. You just have had these guys that have kind of filled in. You rotate through. Okay, fine. You have Amari Cooper. Thank goodness you do. I just assume that defenses will now lock him down. And that's a tough thing to do because I think Amari, for as good as he is, can beat double teams and he can get open. But let's also call it for what it is. He's not Tyreek Hill. He's not A.J. Brown with all these gaudy stats. I mean, he's good, but it's only to so level. And then I look, who is your number 2 receiver? It's supposed to be Elijah Moore. And for the role that I expected for Elijah Moore, he doesn't really look to be that prototypical 2 for me. He seems to be that slot guy. They like getting him on these jet sweeps. They like getting him involved in the backfield. And I agree that there was a lot of sauce put on the Elijah Moore trade when it was made in the offseason, that he's going to come in here and be Deebo Samuel, and he's going to do all these crazy and amazing things. I haven't done that yet. And at this point, I don't know if I can afford to have him do all these other things. I need him to be a receiver. I need him to be in the route tree. I need him to be down the field. I really can't afford for him to be in the backfield and running jet sweeps anymore because I'm down on receivers. Cedric Tillman has more of the body type that I envision from a number 2 receiver. And yeah, Marquise Goodwin could stretch the field where he's meant to be, but again, he's now in concussion protocol. You going to turn James Prochet now all of a sudden? Practice squatter, you got to have to turn punts? I don't like it. And to Kevin Stefanski's point, where he said, can you play it again for me? I'm sorry. So this is Kevin Stefanski yesterday, basically asked, are you concerned that it's Amari Cooper and then everybody else? And here's Kevin Stefanski from yesterday.
I don't know that I really spend a lot of time thinking about the stats of it. I think we know the opposing team knows Amari's a good football player. He gets a ton of attention. That opens up other opportunities. But like we talked about yesterday, the ball goes where the ball goes. It's just based on coverage. All our guys are doing what they're supposed to do. And when the ball finds their way, we have a ton of trust in all of our receivers, tight ends, you name them.
Okay, so, and I believe that. I believe that when Deshaun Watson is in there, that the ball will find where it needs to go. My question is, Ryan, are these guys actually getting open? When I go back to Sunday, there were times that Deshaun Watson vacated the pocket. And was it because there was pressure? Like, there was a clean pocket on a couple of them. When you have to escape after 2 or 3 seconds in the pocket, that means nobody's open. And you got to run to make a play. So for Stefanski to say, we have trust in these guys, sure, and the football will go where it needs to go. Are they getting open? That's the ultimate thing. Because if you believe that Amari Cooper is going to start drawing these double teams and taking coverage away, then yes, somebody else should be open. It's one game. I know that, but I didn't see that on Sunday. The stats would tell you guys were not open. If they're going to turn this into just we're going to throw a screen every other pass, then that's going to get sniffed out pretty quick too. I'm sorry, that's the way the NFL runs right now. And I'm not going to apologize for looking around the league and seeing how everybody else is doing it. It's clearly working for everybody else. I have concerns. I have real concerns about this receiving core outside of Amari Cooper. Ryan, please cast your vote on a 2 for Tuesday. Are you concerned with the rest of the guys in that receiving room?
Yeah, I would say I'm concerned, and I think it's fair to be concerned. I don't know, all the numbers on the advanced metrics like separation and all that, but it's a lot easier to mask the lack of talent outside the numbers when you had the best running back in the league in your backfield in Nick Chubb. But now that that's gone and completely changed the way we wanted to play football and the way we have to play football to win games. So I think it is fair to be concerned, and there is definitely a very large gap between our wide receiver 1, Amari Cooper, and our wide receiver 2, which, like you said, was supposed to be Elijah Moore, but we haven't really seen a wide receiver 2 really claim that role in the offense.
All right, so I'm pulling up separation stats right now from Next Gen, NFL Next Gen stats. Luke Musgrave leads the league in 4.8 yards of separation. Rondale Moore, Cole Kmet, Khalif Raymond. Right. 5th in the NFL in yards, in separation yards, average separation, Elijah Moore, 4.2. Let me see if I can search by team here. I can't. I scroll down a little bit. David Njoku, averaging 3.5 yards of separation per route. Why are they not throwing it to Elijah Moore then? I don't know. I mean, so if that's our biggest concern, now, again, I don't see Amari Cooper anywhere here. So that tells you Amari Cooper's making catches even when he's not getting separation, which is pretty good that he's doing that. But yeah, I mean, maybe there's nothing there. Maybe that's not it. Maybe Deshaun Watson will actually be the fix that this team needs. And I need to give time for that. I look at the stats. I know Kevin Stefanski said he doesn't. I look at the stats. I don't see it. I don't see them being able to distribute the football equally enough. If you want to turn this into, we are just going to throw the ball to Amari Cooper 12 times and hope that he has 7 receptions. If that's how you're going to do it, that's fine. The other part, you don't have the run game that you used to have. If Nick Chubb was here, I would not be having this concern. Not for a second. Because I would believe when you drop back to throw it to Cooper and Njoku, and if not, we're going to run the ball with Nick Chubb. You don't have him here now. And that's another piece of why I feel the way I feel right now, where I don't like it. I don't like where the Browns are at in the receiving core right now. We'll see how that plays out in our Twitter question up at Matt Fontana Show. The other thing I want to play from Stefanski yesterday, again, Tony asked the 2 questions that I really wanted to ask Coach Stefanski. And the other question was the short passes for Deshaun Watson. I brought this up. There's these little routes, the Akins fourth down, some of the crossing routes. It just seems like he's not quite sharp on these short routes. Kevin Stefanski was asked about that yesterday. Here's what he had to say, sound courtesy of the Browns.
I don't. I get to see him in practice. I get to see him in games. You're going to have some misses. Not many people are throwing 100% on a completion percentage. So, but the balls that he threw, 2 in particular stick out. The one to Amari, the deep one, and then the earlier play action to Amari in stride. I thought he made really good decisions, but he's a good. He's a good player, and he made some big plays for us yesterday.
So he sounds like that's not a concern. And that's fine. If it's a rep thing or if it just needs more game speed and then he can kind of get in the flow a little bit and make those throws, sure. So if Kevin Stefanski is not concerned about the short passes, I won't be either. We disagree when it comes to the receiving core, and trust me, I know Kevin Stefanski can't come out in a Monday press conference and sound the 5-alarm fire and go, yeah, we have nobody else to throw to. They got to make do with what they have. Those are the players that you're going to have for the rest of the season. Going to have to deal with it. And that's, frankly, on Deshaun Watson. Okay? He's a franchise guy. He's paid all that money. I maybe need him to elevate some of these guys a little bit. I just question the group that is there. So that's our first two for Tuesday. Up at Matt Fontana Show, are you concerned about the Browns receiving core outside of Amari Cooper? Our second one, 'tis the season, no matter how I feel about NCAA basketball right now, thanks to Virginia Commonwealth. NBA or NCAA basketball? That's our second two for Tuesday. I'm clearly going NBA. I've said this. I hate college basketball more than anything. March Madness is cool, I guess. There's nothing quite like it. The bracket. I'll tell you this, Ryan. I haven't filled out a bracket in years.
Oh, I'm changing that.
I just, to enter that $1 million thing if you get it right, and people always joke about this. When you have that office pool, Pam from accounting, who had her granddaughter fill it out based on team mascot, she wins. There's upsets. I will say, those 2 days, the first 2 days of the tournament, where people are showing up at the bar at 9:30 and you watch, that's cool. Okay, I'm not knocking that. My biggest thing on college basketball is I don't follow it, so it's hard for me. But I can't even tell you who's on Duke. I can barely tell you who's on Ohio State this year. There's just so much turnover. And it was a lot of the one and dones that really did it in. Now you have the transfer portal. I have nothing for college basketball. The pro side of it, I at least appreciate a little bit more. You have the best players in the world. You can at least know who's on what team. We obviously have a team to root for. And it's not saying that I don't root for Ohio State basketball. Sure, go best of luck to Chris Holtmann and his squad. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because the Ohio State has been down for a little while. Maybe that. I don't know. I'm all out on NCAA basketball. Ryan, I know you're a big fan, but my vote very clearly here is NBA over college.
Yeah, I prefer college basketball over NBA. I do love the NBA, but I appreciate the turnover of college basketball. I like that.
See, I hate that.
I like the fact that there's not a lot of repeat winners. Yes, you have your Kentuckys, you have your
Is that
Dukes,
good, though? Can I ask you that? Is that really good?
I mean, maybe. I think it's good. I mean, maybe not in terms of money, but I enjoy it. Like UConn last year, for instance. I think their last title was 2012 or something, which that's not even that long of a gap. Don't get me wrong, less than 10 years between championships. But there's
you got 260.
dynasties.
Yeah, there's 264 or something like that. Division I basketball programs.
And then part of it is March Madness, like you said. There's nothing like it.
I respect.
I love filling out the brackets.
I get it.
It's so, and granted, I've had pretty solid success in filling out my brackets.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, because I got UConn last year as I only did one bracket.
That's probably why I get angered, because I don't watch it. Then I fill out a bracket and I get smoked. That's probably what it is.
Biggest thing, I'm telling you, it happens every year. There's a stat, you have to be top 10 in offense and defense ratings in the Ken Pom, and then a certain free throw percentage, because that's basically what it comes down to in March Madness is these 18 to 22-year-olds making free throws, which is insane, but that's literally what it comes down to.
Ooh. We got this one has to be in here. Okay, go. Here it goes again. On the treadmills. Have you ever seen that music video?
I have not.
What?
I've never even heard the treadmills.
What?
Who the hell are the
treadmills?
treadmills?
Oh my God, you've never seen OK Go, Here It Goes Again?
Who the hell are the treadmills?
That's not the band. They're on treadmills.
Oh.
No. They're on treadmills. No. You've never seen it?
Never heard of it.
Our bracket of the week is your favorite music video of all time. That is required to go in. Here It Goes Again. Put that in group 3, slot number 4. Here it goes again. JoJo saving the day on Twitter. Yes, that one's in. Here it goes again. Yes, that's in. All right, we got to go to break so you can Google it. Do you want to put Smells Like Teen Spirit in there?
It's in there.
Oh, it is already? All right, so we only got one spot left. Our best music video of all time. Tweet it. The brackets will come out a little bit later. Let's catch a break, frankly, because I want Ryan to go watch this music video. When we come back, I've got Jeremy Fowler. He polled NFL executives. Which teams will win every division in all of football? We'll tell you who the AFC North is, but really there could be some bets to be made as well on some of these other ones. Stephen Vogt in as the Guardians manager. We'll talk about that. We've got yet more Michigan news. They've been served, allegedly, to let them know there might be some punishment coming down. Is this moving faster than we really thought it was going to be? So we'll get to that. Really, I want to get to Jeremy Fowler's NFL executives pick every division in football. We'll get to that as soon as we return. Folks, just kicking things off here on the day in Big Play. Yesterday, a massive day for us. So we were on 9 to 11, had a great show. Chico was awesome from 12 to 2. Then last night, you had Reflog, you had Hanford's show, you had Blake and Greg Williams with Come Get Some, you had a special edition of Booby's show with Rafa. All of it at Big Play. Tonight, Josh and Maria Cribbs will be in to do their show. Tomorrow night, bonus time with Bruce Drennan. Follow Big Play on Twitter. It's everything you need to know. We retweet the clips. All of the shows are available. YouTube, Facebook, and it does stream on Twitter. And I know a lot of people, they find their ways to, it's just different on how you find the shows. But we're all over the place. We're everywhere you need us. The easiest thing is to follow Big Play on Twitter. Then you can follow the individual shows. At Matt Fontana Show, that is us. Have we surpassed the 300 threshold?
We're at 298.
298. Drop us a follow. At Matt Fontana Show and get us over the 300 mark there. And, of course, follow the show. Watch the show every morning right there with everything we got for Big Play. Just more tweets. See, here's the crappy thing on the bracket. There's going to be some good ones left out. I'm sorry to say. But that one has to be in. Tweet it, and we'll get our final one in for that. NFL execs pick the divisions in football. We'll run through it next right here on Big Play. It's the Matt Fontana Show. Stay with us. All right, we've remedied the situation. Ryan has now seen OK Go, their treadmill music video. What did you think?
It was
pretty good, right?
Very impressive that it was all, in one shot.
Pretty much, yeah. So that is
very good choreography. I'll give them that.
And that, I know before a time for you, but when YouTube first started taking off in the early 2000s, that video was one of the first viral videos that went. How many views do you think that has on YouTube?
I'll go 400 million.
$62 million.
Oh,
$62 million is what it is. But I don't even think that's the original one. I don't know. But anyway, so it's in Best Music Video. So we only have one slot left. It's going to be a tough one. We'll get to that bracket a little bit later. Welcome back. Matt Fontana Show right here on Big Play. I'm Matt Fontana. He, of course, is Ryan Tyler. And a question I thought about asking the people this morning, where is your vision for the Cleveland Browns? Do you still feel like they can win the division, or you kind of resign that we'll be a wild card team? We know if the playoffs started today, all 4 of the AFC North teams would be in. Does that change with the Chargers win last night? I don't think so.
no, because they're 4-4.
They're a game behind.
Yeah, they're still.
Oh
4-4.
yeah, dude. They're 4-4. That's right. So right now today, Kansas City, Baltimore, Jacksonville, and Miami are your division winners, and all 3 of your wildcard teams. The Steelers get the 5 seed because they have the head-to-head over us. Browns are the 6 seed. The Bengals are the 7 seed. How about that? The Bills and the Chargers would both miss the playoffs if it started today. If it started today, Browns matchup would be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cincinnati. How about this for an opening round of the playoffs? It would be Cincy, Baltimore, Cleveland, Jacksonville, and Miami, Pittsburgh. Pretty interesting.
That'd be
That'd be fun to watch. Kansas City getting the bye. So the question is, are you more of the mindset towards the wild card? And I think I kind of am. In essence, Baltimore has a 2-game lead over most of the division, which is hard. And that's why this Sunday will tell the story. That's not me breaking any news. This Sunday will either bury or keep your hopes alive for winning the division. But that being said, Jeremy Fowler went around and asked NFL executives to predict division winners and make their Super Bowl picks. So he talked to a number of executives to gauge where insiders believe the division races are ahead, as well as the 2 teams that will still be playing football in February. I scroll down to the AFC North. The write-up, it's the Baltimore Ravens. An AFC executive said Sunday night, quote, "They are scary." Baltimore now has a pair of 30-plus point wins over 2 good NFC teams, with beating up on Detroit and then throttling Seattle. Lamar Jackson, we know how good he is. He's throwing it better. And then now Mike McDonald, who I didn't want to bring this article up, but I was on NFL.com this morning, and there was an article from Jeffrey Chihita, who I think we brought articles up from him before. And he did the unconventional midseason awards. He said the best assistant coach in football was Mike McDonald, not Jim Schwartz. Now, he shouted Jim Schwartz out in it. And I think probably those 2 games against Seattle and the Colts might be a reason to not be. But I shook my head at that. I didn't really buy that. But Baltimore they're very scary. They are very scary. So right now, and it's not like he broke it down to say, like, this is how many votes they got, but it's very much in the hands of Baltimore. Now, an AFC executive on the Bengals. They have an identity. They can always rush the passer. They have multiple elite playmakers. That always travels, and they seem to peak late in the year. Nobody's bringing up Cleveland. So as far as NFL executives talking to Jeremy Fowler, this is Baltimore's division to lose. Cincinnati could be the team that takes them down. I don't think that's crazy, but we'll see how it goes. The rest of the divisions from Jeremy Fowler, and I wish he did it in a better order, but here we are. All right, AFC East. The opinions vary between the Dolphins and the Bills. The Dolphins, they look like, so somebody writes, an AFC executive said, they look like a Big 12 team. They're a tough matchup. They could put up huge points at any point, but they also, when they lose, it's not a fluke. Like, they just get beat. They've gotten beat by contenders in multiple years, so there's some truth to that narrative. The problem is the Bills can't play on the road. They are 1-4 on the road this year. An AFC scout. Everything looks hard on offense for the Bills, who's not doing what they need to do. An AFC executive, I still trust the Bills. They're well coached. They have good players, and they still have time to play in Buffalo in December, which is always tough. So, AFC East, I would take the Dolphins, but they see that as being a 2-horse race there. We go to the AFC West. we move on. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. There's no question there. AFC South, of course, it is the Jacksonville Jaguars. No question there. It's not really that shocking. To the NFC we go. The NFC North is going to run through the Lions. The Vikings, I don't think will keep this going with Josh Dobbs. The question that a lot of the executives bring up, are the Lions real contenders when it comes to the playoff? Are they beating up on a bad division, and can they actually show up in the playoffs? Because when they've run into some good teams, a la Baltimore, they got smoked in that game. So it is the Lions. We go to the NFC East. The Eagles, not shockingly, are the pick. But Dallas, some feel like Sunday's game validated them as a real threat for the Eagles. One executive. They're close, but they just can't seem to win those gotta-have-it games. They'll be a threat in January, no doubt. They have too much firepower on both sides of the football, especially if Dak Prescott can kind of fix his play. Dak Prescott's an interesting guy. Because on a snap judgment, you would go, yeah, he's good. But is he really? Is he elite? And I don't think the answer to that question is yes.
Well, I mean, when you look at his numbers, they're not bad one bit, actually. I mean, it's ever since that injury, he's kind of become one-dimensional in the sense of he doesn't rush anymore. And that was kind of, I mean, back when, when he had the rookie record for passer rating, and then the year after, like, big part of his game was his ability to be mobile and rush. And ever since that injury, I mean, obviously, but that's been taken away from his game. And then last year, he had a big problem with turnovers. He's been better this year in that. I think he gets some unnecessary hate, and part of it is because he's on America's team.
Exactly.
And he's on the national stage. But so he's one of those players that I think he's good. He gets unfair criticism. Sometimes it's fair, but sometimes it comes with the turf of being the Cowboys quarterback.
NFC West, the executives still say this is all San Francisco. Even their 3-game slide, an NFL scouting official. Do you really panic when you have all the guys that San Francisco has? They still have the best players. I think they know they need the pieces around Brock Purdy. When you start winning, you want to give your quarterback more, but then he struggles without his top guys. I don't knock him for that. Even the best needed help. Even the best quarterbacks need help. It doesn't make Brock Purdy any less valuable, but that's the way the roster is constructed. They still feel like this goes through San Francisco. Seattle, I think they're spicy, but they're not going to win that division. And especially Ayuk has been out, Debo's been out, and Trent Williams has been out. Once they get those guys back, they'll figure it out. So really, as it stands, all of the divisions, you could pretty much put a stamp on at least one or two teams that are going to get it done. And then we get to the NFC South. So here's the thing. These are NFL executives. These are scouting people. They're in the NFL world. Do you want to know what Jeremy Fowler said that they all brought up? This is anyone's guess. Between the Falcons, the Saints, and the Buccaneers. Now, yesterday on the show, I jumped on Tipico, use that code BigPlay150, and I grabbed the Saints to win that division. They said the only certainty in the NFL's worst division is that the Panthers will not be winning that division. The Bucs, Saints, and Falcons have all shown glimpses of playoff potential. The Saints are considered the safest bet of the group now that Derek Carr looks more comfortable. An AFC personnel man on the New Orleans Saints. Their defense is sound, physical, and big. Offensive line is very good, and the running backs and wide receivers are dynamic. The quarterback is streaky. If they were more consistent, they'd be a 12-4 team. They play 17 games now. And AFC. Oh, God, I touched the mic again. Hey, somebody tell Drennan that I don't have a fetish for licking the mics, okay? I was doing, I can't even remember what I was doing, Ryan. I was getting close to the microphone and I accidentally licked it. This microphone is disgusting, by the way. That clip got sent. Everybody goes, hey, Fontana's got a fetish about leaking the microphones. I do not, okay? I don't. Send that to Bruce for tomorrow's show.
Are you sure, Matt?
Yes, this microphone is disgusting.
It's 2023. We don't shame.
Stop that. Can we get mic screens in here, please? I'll tell you what. Are we going? Well, when's the new studio open? It's another great question for the behind the scenes here at Big Play. I will buy my own microphone. Do you want one? I'll buy you one.
Yeah.
I'll buy you a mic screen. It's cold seasons here. You know how many people? There's no joke. 10 people a week that use this microphone. Me, Chico, Padone on 2 different shows. I don't know what Padone does in his spare time. I don't want that up in here. Drennan.
Hanford.
Roth does Ted sit here too?
Ted sits there. Sean Crawford sits there.
Okay, Sean sits
and,
here.
Maria Cribbs.
It's too many people. That's too many people for this microphone. So we at least need the mic screen to help me out here a little bit.
You're like Rudy Gobert when he touched all the microphones.
Oh, stop that.
Is he your favorite player?
No, he's not. I'll tell you, you want to know the crazy story when he broke COVID? Ever tell you where I was?
No.
I was in Las Vegas. So, quick story. All right, so that's it. Oh, by the way, trendy Super Bowl picks from all these NFL execs, Ravens, Eagles. Everybody picked them to go to the Super Bowl. Let's talk Guardians manager in a second. Quick side note story on COVID. So this was 2020, March. Remember, and I'll never forget these couple of days because that was literally that press conference with Rudy Gobert. Mm-hmm. And that's when COVID started. So my brothers and I were all fans of the band 311. You ever heard the song Down?
Never heard of 311.
I ask you to listen to some on the ride home. But anyway, so they do a festival every year on March 11th, 311. And they do it in New Orleans, and they have a cruise. And this particular year, they were going to be in Las Vegas for 3 nights, 3 straight concerts, just them. So my brothers and I are like, hell yeah, we got to go. First time going to Vegas for 4 of us. So it was an epic trip. It was awesome. So the concert was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we fly in Tuesday. Tuesday, COVID was not a thing. That night, I think was the Rudy Gobert thing. Ryan, we woke up Wednesday morning. They canceled the Pac-12 basketball tournament that was being held across the street. We were staying at MGM. It was at the Golden Knights or T-Mobile Arena. This sea of people that I'll never forget, all checking out to get the hell out of there. We go to the concert the first night. Not really a problem. The second day, we're walking around Vegas. It's dead. There was nobody there. We're playing $5 tables at midnight because we went to the concert, then we'd go hit the casino for a little bit. Second night of the concert goes on. We wake up Friday. The entire world is shut down.
Yeah.
COVID is now a thing in 2 days. My brothers and I from Cleveland, Ohio are stuck in Vegas. I'm pulling up rental cars thinking they're going to cancel our flights. Like, there's no way they're going to let us the hell out of here.
Horrible drive that would be.
Oh, well, I was with my brothers, so I would just be like, hey, man, we'll get there when we get there. We'll take a little trip. We'll go up to Yosemite. You know, didn't really have enough clothes for the trip, but we'll make do. Or, guys, what do we want us to do? So Friday night, they come out, 311 comes out, and they go, we really had to fight to put this concert on, but we're going to play tonight. We get done, and again, you're in a sea of people at a concert wondering who's got COVID and not. We get to Saturday because we were flying out Saturday night. We didn't even do anything Saturday. We were basically afraid to go anywhere. Get to the Uber to go to the airport. Our Uber driver goes, we were just talking to him, and he goes, I've lived in Vegas my whole life. I've never seen it like this except for right after 9/11.
Yeah.
And he goes, it is dead. There's no table action. There's nothing going on. We hightailed it the hell out of there. We thankfully got on the plane and got back home, and the world shut down after that. So when you bring up Rudy Gobert, I vividly remember standing in a hotel lobby with just this sea of people checking out from the Pac-12 basketball tournament, going to tables in Las Vegas at the MGM at midnight, 11 o'clock, and playing $5 tables and thinking that's the Vegas experience. And people have told me since, like, dude, you're crazy. That's not really what. And I go, I know, but you mentioned Rudy Gobert with the microphones. Like, that's when COVID hit for me. And we'll tell generations after this, like, what the shutdown was like. And I'm not getting political, but people are like, oh, it's going to happen again or this or that. Like, a crazy time to be alive. Well, the Guardians have hired their manager. It's Stephen Vogt. He comes in, and I think yesterday, what a crazy day. So the Guardians hire Vogt. The Mets hire that Yankees guy, and everybody goes, oh, Craig Counsell's going back to the Brewers. Oh, but wait. He signs a deal to go to the Chicago Cubs, leaving Milwaukee as a Milwaukee-born kid playing for the Brewers and managing them to sign the richest MLB manager deal in history to go to the Chicago Cubs. So I guess it all kind of worked out. The question might be, because I wanted Counsell, but then I see the money that was getting thrown out. He wasn't coming here. So you bring in Stephen Vogt. 39. He, of course, played for the Athletics, not this past season, but 2020 was his last year. And then he spent 2023 with the Seattle Mariners as their bullpen and quality control coach. And he was hired yesterday by the Cleveland Guardians. I'm not going to sit here and act like I can tell you that Stephen Vogt has this long history of being a manager. You were going to go with one of two things. You were going to go with your John Farrells, your Craig Counsels, your experienced manager. They've been in the playoffs. They've done these things before. Or the other side of it, a guy like Stephen Vogt. He is 39 years old. He spent a lot of time in baseball. He was in the major leagues for 10 seasons across quite a few different teams. Was he ever an electric player? He was a two-time All-Star. So there you go. They go with the young guy. People want to jump on the analytics. Like, is he in on the analytics? Or how much is he buying on this? I don't know. The biggest concern that people have, he's never managed before. Is that a real concern for you, Ryan?
I mean, not necessarily, because, you go to the point, how does everybody start, right?
Minor leagues. People could say, he managed in the minors, or even Terry Francona, before he got the Boston job, he managed in Philly. And it was a horrible experience, and Terry would tell you that. He got ran out of Philly. It was bad, but you learned a lot. You learned a lot doing that job. Stephen Vogt has none of that. What he does have over some managers is a long MLB career where he's seen a lot of different managers. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned that Stephen Vogt has no managerial experience. For two reasons. Number one, the time that he spent in baseball. Baseball is more about culture than it is X's and O's. Stephen Vogt, I'm sure, has realized what good culture is for a clubhouse. It's number one. And number two, he is coming to a town I think will be a little more forgiving. He's not going to the Mets. He's not going to the Chicago Cubs where they will rip him apart from the jump. I think people in this town are open to a guy like him. It sounded pretty positive yesterday. So we will give him a chance. It doesn't mean that it's going to work out. It doesn't mean that he's going to take us to a World Series, but at least he's starting off on a good foot. The only negative that I have about Stephen Vogt is something that he can't control. He's replacing a legend. What's that saying that we've said it for on the show? Everybody knows. You don't want to be the guy that replaces the legend. You want to be the guy that replaces the guy that replaced the legend. There is going to be an uphill battle with Stephen Vogt no matter what, because he's replacing Terry Francona. Now, Terry is still around. He will still be a part of the organization. And I would imagine that Stephen Vogt would welcome that a little bit, because a balance in a battle that I had, no matter who they hired at manager, was how much was Terry going to still be there? And it sounds negative when I say meddling, or when I say that he's still got his fingers in it. That sounds bad because you instantly think of an owner that you're just screaming at to shut up and go up to the box and be quiet. But Terry Francona is a Hall of Fame manager. He's still in the organization. What is that balance of him inserting himself to help Stephen Vogt versus, hey, man, you're going to have to figure this out himself? And then also the players on the team. You need to have these players look at Stephen Vogt as their leader, not Terry Francona. So if Terry is still around, is that a balance or a battle that you're going to have? On the whole, I have no reason to not like it. I understand some people's hesitation that he's never managed before. That, like in football is so different, where you start as a position coach, you then maybe become a coordinator, then you become a head coach. Basketball, yeah, usually you're an assistant for a little while, you work your way up. Baseball is different. Baseball is different of what the coach, manager input is. It's probably the less of all the sports, is it not? You make the lineup, which I think is also very heavily influenced by the analytics. When people hear that your manager listens to analytics, it's not that he's sitting there going like on his phone in the game going, I think we should steal here. No, it's when they're putting the lineup together for the day, there is a printout that the computer, that the graphics, that the sabermetrics, that all that stuff say, this is probably the best lineup to put together today. Do people want to hear something that they might not know? Terry Francona looked at that. It didn't always mean that he said, yep, that's it. But he still looked at it. And that's why the relationship between Terry and Antonetti and Chernoff and the organization was so great, because Terry was open to that. He was not one of these hard-headed, it's my way or the highway, I grew up in the heyday of baseball and you better listen to me. He was open to it. Stephen Vogt, playing in the era that he played of the 2010s mostly, analytics are a thing for him. So I think that will help as he kind of bridges this together and puts it all together. But nonetheless, it's an important hire from a culture standpoint. Yeah, bullpen. Okay, what does a manager do to impact a game? Lineup, pitching changes, which might be the number one thing. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. I'm pinky. The number one thing is probably pitching changes. Number two would probably be the lineup. And then, yeah, from time to time, steal or bunt, which nobody does anymore. That's it. So that's why I don't have so much of a concern from that standpoint. What I want is a manager that's going to set the culture. And I hope that Stephen Vogt can do that, because there's no numbers on that. But I take that he played. I guess my overarching thing on Stephen Vogt about why I like this hire, he played 10 years. He was a catcher. There's something about that. You know, my brother, who loves baseball even more than I do, that's the first thing he texted me. He said he's a catcher. I like that. And a lot of times with catchers, they are the leaders of the teams. They're the Jake Taylors of the world of Major League. Great movie. You need that. And you need that type of guy to set the culture here. I like the hire. I've got no reason not to. If people really want to jump on that he's never done it before, fine. But from what I've understood from former players of here, he's a great guy. I think he's going to be a good hire. I think it's going to work out. Ryan, I'm not concerned. I like the hire from Steve Vogt. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough to totally speak on it, or
I don't know if anybody really does.
Yeah,
You're right.
And that's what I mean.
That's fine.
To have any legitimate concerns. But just to relay what you said, yeah, I love the fact that he is a catcher. And then I love the fact that he's a younger guy, and I mean,
39. He should. It all goes well. He's got this job for years, right?
I mean, yeah.
Like, get a run here of 15, 20 odd some years.
Looks like a guy who knows ball.
That's what I'm saying. He looks like a ball. You want to know the other thing that I like about Vogt a little bit? Okay, he had 2 all-star years, which means he played a little bit. So that instantly commands respect. I think, number one, when Stephen Vogt walks in and he can look at any player in there and say, I played the game. That goes a long way, in my opinion. That's number one. Number two, I played it to a level where I was an all-star. But you want to know what else, Ryan? He was designated for assignment. He had to sign 1-year minor league deals. He knows that other side of it. He knows both being, I don't want to say upper echelon player because he wasn't, but he knows the other end of it too. And he's been through it all. I think that carries a lot with that locker room or that clubhouse, which is, I think, the most important thing. We'd be remiss, too, to say congratulations to Tanner Bybee. He is a final for the AL Rookie of the Year. I think it'll probably be Gunnar Henderson out of Baltimore. But hell, man, who saw that coming for one Tanner Bybee? Congratulations to him. They will announce that on Monday. He's a finalist for that. So the Guardians, I mean, they picked up a couple Gold Gloves. I think they might be in for a Silver Slugger here or there. We'll see. And Bybee's up for Rookie of the Year. I think it'll be Gunnar Henderson, but still, congratulations to Bybee. All right, let's catch a break. We come back. We got the morning update. I'm sure we'll dive back into the Guardians. We got some more stuff with the Browns. And also, in hour 2, the Michigan update. They've been served. They have been served to let them know this could be coming down. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. And really, as we gear up for the Ohio State-Michigan game, we're taking closer to that. We'll get to that. 2 for Tuesday is up. And our best music video. Take On Me has gotten a lot. Take On Me, a lot of love.
Video.
Great music video. It's in there. It is. So don't worry about that. We'll get to our bracket. We'll get to time up. We got it all. Hour 1 down, hour 2 upon us. Stay with us. Big Play, Matt Fontana Show, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're all over it. Follow us on Instagram as well. And streaming on the iHeart app. We're back right after this. All right, we're back here on that Fontana Show, 10:03. It is time for the morning update. All the stories you got to know for your Tuesday. Take it away, Ryan Tyler.
Alrighty, well, as mentioned before, Tanner Bybee named a Rookie of the Year finalist in the American League. What a great and unexpected season that Tanner Bybee had. I cannot tell you how impressed I was. And obviously the big name coming up was Gavin Williams, but Tanner Bybee put himself in that conversation to maybe be one of our future All-Stars for here in Cleveland.
I mean, 10-4. Talk about that as a record. 10-4, and he missed time. A sub-3 ERA. That's it. That's all you need to know. And yeah, Tanner Bybee coming up, we're a 5th-round pick. You're right. It wasn't dude. There was more talk about Logan Allen coming up than Tanner Bybee. The Guardians, man, they print pitchers. They find a way. Now, there's good and bad with that, because it is sometimes apparent that when these guys, I'm not saying that they're trading away anybody, but the Guardians, they create these pitchers, and what do? They ship them off eventually. They're the best pieces that we have for trades. And I don't think anybody regrets moving on from Mike Clevenger, especially with the haul that you got for him. Nobody regrets moving on from Trevor Bauer, of course. But even some of the other guys that you've traded away, you don't really look back on it because they're not the same. So the question is, as the Guardians enter this offseason, when it comes to pitching, who are your bona fide rotation guys? No questions asked. Number 1, Tanner Bybee. Number 2, I think it is Gavin Williams. Number 3, Cal Quantrill is probably injury. Okay, fine. Tristan McKenzie, and then you get to Shane Bieber. And Bieber, as everybody expects, will be traded away this offseason, right? That's what everybody thinks. It's the last year of his deal next year. You lose the control, and that's what the Guardians do. They send guys away. They bring something back. What are you going to get for Shane Bieber? 6-6 on the year with a 3.8 ERA and 21 starts, missed times with an injury. Here's where I sit. I think you sign him to a contract extension. He's not going to get the money that he thought in free agency. I still think Shane Bieber can be a number 2 starter on your team. That's what most teams would trade him for. Why not sign him to a 5-year, $75 million deal? And you say, this is probably more than you were going to get in free agency. You're going to do it better here. You've been here before. Let's keep you around, knowing that there's going to be a rotation. So again, if you have a starting rotation of Bybee, Bieber, Allen, Quantrill, Gavin Williams, and then you add in, who am I missing? Tristan McKenzie. That's not bad. That's not bad. And knowing that this team still, I think, needs a power-hitting outfielder. They picked up a catcher yesterday in Bethancourt. They sent Cam Gallagher away. There's some moves to be made. But if you start that with your pitching rotation, knowing that Logan Allen will probably be out, maybe bullpen to start, they need bullpen help too, man.
Yeah, you do.
They need a setup guy. Like, I've seen enough of Trevor Stephan. I'll tell you that much. It gives me a heart attack every time I see him come out of the bullpen. Clase is one of the best closers in baseball. But, yeah, you didn't expect any of that out of Bybee. And that's what it's a little like Shane Bieber, right? Came out of nowhere. He's not even to arbitration yet. And he's a rookie, clearly. He's in the Rookie of the Year race. It's a well-done job there for the Guardians. Now, the exciting thing is, for the Guardians prospects, and, I really should get Justin Leda on. Justin, he does Waiting for Next Year, or not, that's somebody else's podcast. Justin is all about the prospects. So he is on the Locked On Guards Next Year in CLE is his podcast. He does all the prospects. The Guardians prospects, a lot of them are not pitchers. Like Manzardo, who was in the Arizona Fall League Home Run Derby, by the way. Who's the guy that Rocio Manzardo. Espino's the one I was thinking about, but he got hurt and he was injured. And everybody else is a position player. So that gives you a little positive to think about, like, yeah, some of these guys, if you can keep some of these pitchers around, you actually have other positions as your top prospects to bring up. We'll see. Well done for Bybee. I guess to wrap up all that, that's well done by Bybee.
Alrighty, well, last week, Craig Counsell was in the running for potentially replacing Terry Francona, but now as we got that figured out with the vote, the Cubs got it figured out as they gave Counsell a 5-year contract worth more than $40 million.
And the crazy thing I saw was David Ross was there. He's clearly out of a job now. And they tried to say that this had nothing to do with David Ross. It just had everything to do with the fact that Craig Counsell became available. And I'm like, huh. I mean, good for him. Like, for that amount of money, how you can't turn that down. I just didn't think it would be that important of a... Like, again, I'm happy with the Stephen Vogt hire, but I guess if it's that important to you, then you go get Craig Counsell. I mean, it's pretty clear, like, he wasn't going to go back to Milwaukee. And again, you can't tell me that the Guardians and the Mets making their decisions on their manager a mere hour before Craig Counsell went to Chicago, all the pieces fell together. Where they were in on Counsell, they wanted him. News probably came out in the inner circles, dude, he's going to Chicago, and you should see the deal he's going to sign. And the Mets and the Guardians go, fine, we'll go with somebody else then. So good for him. Grab the bag, and I'm sure the Cubs will still suck. They're bad. Are they not like a bad baseball team? Like, I don't think they're going to be very good, right?
No, I mean, yeah, who knows? But into the NBA world, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said Monday he will take responsibility for the lack of intensity in apparent recent NBA All-Star games. He talked to Chris Paul, and Chris Paul had a good point. He said, you guys tell us how important the All-Star game is, but then you change all of our pregame protocols so that we don't go through our typical routines as we would before a game. And, everybody always talks about the All-Star game, and when they did the team captains with LeBron and Giannis, it does seem kind of boring. I miss the East-West, and I miss when they wore
Well, the East-West is coming back.
Yeah, so I'm glad to see that, and I miss when they all wore their team jerseys.
Let me get this straight. That Adam Silver brought up that the All-Star game is not competitive. And Chris Paul went to the we can't warm up properly? What kind of bull is that? Seriously. What kind of crap is that? Memo to Adam Silver. The All-Star game will never be competitive. It just won't be. The Pro Bowl is useless in the NFL.
Yeah.
The baseball All-Star game is fun because you can only play baseball one way.
Yeah.
Pitchers can't just lob it on up. I'm sorry. It'll always be that way. And to be honest with you, Ryan, as a fan, I don't care. Because the All-Star game, do you know what I want? I want Kevin Durant throwing an alley-oop up to LeBron. That is the fun part of it. And they've tried all these different hokey, stupid ways. You play to a score, the draft. Adam Silver, and I know this hurts your bottom dollar because you want the ratings. The All-Star game will never change. It'll always be what it is. Just embrace it and deal with it. You're going to make up some money with this in-season tournament, which I think is stupid and asinine as well. You're not going to make... Not everything is going to be a home run, okay? Not everything... Slam dunk would probably been the bad pun to use there, but sorry. Not everything, like... It's a bust. It is. I'm sorry. What else are you going to do? I don't know. Your All-Star Saturday night is pretty good. 3-point. You want to know what, Adam? You want to know what you fix? Get your star guys to do the slam dunk. Do your best guys in the 3-point competition. Maybe make some money on Saturday night as opposed to Sunday night. The All-Star game will never be competitive. I don't know. That's like what? Chris Paul, we didn't warm up properly. That's why we don't play hard in the game. That is one of the biggest loads of crap I have ever heard. Seriously. That's stupid. It's absolutely stupid.
Alrighty, well, on to football. We saw the Chargers beat the Jets 27-6. Chargers improved to 500 while the Jets fall to 500. And this is despite Herbert only throwing for 136 yards and no touchdowns.
They still don't want to pay Austin Eckler. Seriously. Watch those games and tell me that Austin Eckler... I mean, Keenan Allen is really good. Austin Eckler's everything to those Chargers. I still don't feel good about the Chargers. The Jets, I called that. I knew that. I felt that to my bones. Jets were going to fall. Zach Wilson looked like Zach Wilson again. Good job, I guess. Chargers, I don't think are going anywhere. I guess they could sneak in. Like, let me ask you this right now. better chance to make the playoffs, the Chargers, the Pittsburgh Steelers? Knowing the Steelers are in right now, they have a 1-game lead on the Chargers. I didn't even mention the Buffalo Bills.
I'd say the Chargers.
Okay. Bills, Chargers, Steelers.
Bills. Okay. I mean, at that point, it just goes to what team I think is best.
2 spots. Steelers, Chargers, Bills, Browns.
Browns, Bills.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll listen to it. Chargers don't look good. Jets look worse.
Yeah, but Matt, I'd be amiss if I didn't ask you because I know you have an opinion on this. Aaron Rodgers was seen throwing 50-yard
God.
dots.
Oh, dude. Oh, my God. Holy cow. I don't want to do it. Should I do it on camera? I don't think I can even do it here. Like, it's like, the shot's not even going to be on my feet, right? I don't want you to move the camera. But, like,
Oh, this is good.
Did you see him?
Yeah. I have no idea what he's up to.
He was going like, you know what I mean? Like his dropbacks were like, it's not like he was like fluid. You know what I mean? Like he looked like he was hopping on a leg that just had AC or Achilles surgery.
People seem to believe he's going to be back.
He's not coming back.
He's posting cryptic messages on his Instagram.
Seriously, go back and watch it. He looked like he was like dragging his leg. And I get it, he was just like putzing around, just throwing the football around the sky. I saw the same thing you did, Ryan. Like, there was no part of that I go, yeah, that guy looks like he's ready to play in the NFL anytime soon. Come on.
And he was also at the 50-yard line talking. I think it was Derwin James, and they, the lip readers get into all of that. And said he told him that he'll be back in a few weeks.
My rear end. Okay, my rear end.
We need to have a thing like if Aaron Rodgers does come back, you got to eat your words.
I'm sure. I'd love to place that bet on Tipico. Do you think we could get a special bet on Tipico of Aaron Rodgers playing again this season? Do you think we could talk to them about that?
Yeah, why not?
I'd slam that bet. The bet would be, does Aaron Rodgers take a snap in the 2020, because like this season, does Aaron Rodgers take another snap this season? I will bet $1,000 on no. It would be stupid. Because the other thing, the Jets are not going to win very many more games, I don't think. They're going to be out of it. Why would they bring Aaron Rodgers back? What would be the point? He looks hobbled. There's no way. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for a second.
All righty, Matt. Well, that's our morning update here on this awesome Tuesday.
All right, now we get into the latest with the Michigan Wolverines. Officially and formally, the Big Ten notified Michigan that they could be facing disciplinary action from the league. A Michigan source has told, I saw this on CBS, I saw this on ESPN. And a letter sent to Michigan is part of the Big Ten sportsmanship policy, which requires a notice of disciplinary actions. Quote, in the event it becomes clear that an institution is likely to be subjected to disciplinary action. Of course, they're investigating Michigan for the illegal off-campus scouting and sign stealing. Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti has the authority to impose discipline under the sportsmanship policy before any NCAA investigation. The Big Ten letter alluded to evidence of the illegal sign stealing, which compromised competitive integrity and other principles of the sportsmanship policy. You want me to sum that up? They broke the rules. You know that, and I know that, and now the Big Ten knows that. So Michigan has until tomorrow to respond to the Big Ten. Their athletic director said he will not be traveling to Texas for the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, because I also heard this, that apparently they reclused him from the room. Now, I knew this, that this College Football Playoff Committee, like Gene Smith was on it, and he's the athletic director at Ohio State. But when they discuss their team, those ADs step out of the room. Last week, apparently, they had the discussion about the sanctions facing Michigan, and they told Ward Manuel to get out. And we got to talk about this. It's moving towards that this is going to happen. And I'm starting to believe that this is going to be bigger than we thought. So here's where we're at right now. And I want to pull up, if I can find it quick. Paul Feinbaum spoke about this too on ESPN. Let me see if I can find it here. Jeez, oh man. All right, here's Feinbaum talking about it. So they have sent this letter. Oh, it's a video. Sorry, never mind. I don't know if we can play that or not, but that's all right. We'll move on. So they sent him this letter on Monday. They said, you are potentially facing these allegations. Michigan has 48 hours until tomorrow to respond. Now, what could that response be? They say, yeah, we know we did it, face the suspension, whatever, move on. Or formally, which is what we assume is going to happen, deny this. Or at least let the legal process play out. The potential discipline could be a suspension for Harbaugh rather than any team-related punishment, according to a source. The league's sportsmanship policy allows Petitti to impose up to a 2-game suspension and a $10,000 fine as standard discipline. Any discipline exceeding those marks would fall under major disciplinary action and would require approval from the Joint Executive Committee, which includes officials from Big Ten schools. So the Big Ten tomorrow, or actually they got to wait till Wednesday. Michigan will file back. The best that Tony Petitti could do on his own is a 2-game suspension for Harbaugh and a $10,000 fine. If he wants more than that, he's got to go back to this committee, which has Big Ten schools on it, which last time checks notes, Big Ten schools want Harbaugh taken out. They go to them, and I'm assuming they'd be on board with it. And we know, no matter what the Big Ten turns out, they're going to push back on it. They're going to get their lawyers involved. And they're going to try to say, well, no, it's going to be a giant fight. And this is what I truly think is going to happen. They will maybe hand something down. Folks, nothing will happen until the offseason. Nothing will happen until the offseason. And I am starting to feel like it's only going to fall on Harbaugh. There will be no postseason ban. There will be no vacated wins. And I think, again, I've said this, vacated wins after the fact are the stupidest thing in the world. That proves nothing. It does nothing. And at that point, Harbaugh would maybe leave. Now, we know that if he goes to the NFL kind of made a statement that they would respect a suspension. Like, he can't just jump and go join, if the Chargers fire Brandon Staley or if they, whoever, go join the Vegas Raiders or something like that, that they might need to honor the suspension. But Ryan, as this starting to go on, A, I'm a little shocked that at least we're moving forward to this point, but also B, what are they going to do? They're going to suspend Harbaugh and fine him, and that's it. Would you accept that? Would you accept a suspension of Jim Harbaugh and a fine for the Michigan Wolverines? Is that enough for the sign-stealing crap?
So what would be the fine? Just monetary?
Yeah. Just, he makes $1 bajillion. It doesn't matter to him.
Yeah.
Probably fine the school. Maybe fine the school, too. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because if you were to do something like a postseason ban, I mean, you're affecting kids, and that sucks. But, I mean, because at the end of the day, it's whatever. Like, even if a kid came and said, like, yo, this is horrible, why are we doing this? I don't think they would. But it's hard to do anything in that sense that would take away from the kids. But, I mean, I guess I'm okay with it because realistically, what else are you going to do?
So this is from the CBS side of things, from Dennis Dodd. Penalties range from a reprimand, slap on the wrist, to then probation or a possible TV ban, which is weird. And that could include withholding TV and bowl game revenue from the university. Do you want to know what they wouldn't care about? Bowl and TV revenue. I know that's a lot of money, but it's Michigan. They don't have a problem with money. So that they probably would be, that's fine. And then, of course, the suspension. Now, Dodd writes, sources close to Harbaugh and the ongoing situation speculated to CBS Sports that a court action would be filed almost immediately, quote, maybe 10 minutes after the punishment would be handed down, that they would file a court action to keep Harbaugh on the sidelines. Nothing's happening this year, I don't think. The action would most likely be an injunction or a temporary restraining order to allow Harbaugh to keep coaching. Okay. I don't want to give Michigan an out on this. But why would they not come down and go to Tony Petitti and say, the best you can do is a 2-game suspension and a fine? We'll do that. And he'll sit out Penn State and Maryland. And then he'll come back for the Big Ten or for Ohio State and potentially the Big Ten championship. You and I know that's weak. Like that's pretty damn weak. Because what was he suspended earlier in the year? East Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green or something like that? Okay. Penn State is 11 in the country. I get that. But take the suspension now. Michigan's other side of it is, no, we'll just fight this in court and take it to the offseason. And if he's got to get suspended for 6 games next year, he'll get suspended for 6 games next year. You know what I'm going to do right now? The 2024 Michigan football schedule. They open with, they have Fresno State to open, okay? Then they take on Texas at the Big House. Then the rabid Arkansas State Red Wolves. And then they have USC, Game 4, joining the Big Ten. They also have I almost said out of conference. They have Washington in Week 6. Maybe you just take that's probably better. Like, because again, next year, they're all in it to go win a title this year. I think they're just going to push this off. They're going to do everything legally that they can to try to hold Harbaugh on the sidelines. So nothing will happen. And now if it's truly this, dude, I'm involved in this because I'm an Ohio State fan, sure. I actually don't really care anymore. You ready for this? I don't care. I don't. This is a charade. It's a facade. It's what the NCAA is. I'm looking forward to Ohio State, Michigan. I'd love them to be 1-2 again in the college football ranking for that game in a couple of weeks. There's a chance, there's a world that happens. And I'd love that. And I'd love the game to be played and it's settled on the field. And even if Michigan won, okay, they win. I'm not big enough to sit there and cry about it. If they win, they win. They go on to the Big Ten championship. And you want to know what? I'll be rooting against them in the Big Ten championship. I'll be rooting against them in the college football semis. And if they make it to the championship, you're damn right I'm going to be rooting against them there. There's my interest as the fan. I'll take that. That's fine. I hate Michigan. But I don't even care anymore. I don't. Because now it's become apparent. Like, I'm not one of these people that are going to be out sitting there saying, oh, got to do a death penalty, fire Harbaugh. How dare he? Oh, my God. There was a point that I go, yeah, this is pretty scummy. This is pretty bad. I don't care anymore. I really don't. Because they've turned this into a dog and pony show. And I know that there's lawyers involved and there's a lot of money to be involved. Let whatever happens with Harbaugh happen. I don't really care. Because I actually, you want to know what? I'm the same way too. I'd rather beat them at full strength. I'd rather it not have these excuses of, oh, Harbaugh wasn't there or this or that. At least they're not stealing signs anymore. At the end of the day, even, okay, they beat Ohio State or they beat this team or whatever. The sign stealing is stopped. At least there's that. At least I know that the game that they'll play in a couple of weeks is real. There's no more of that other bull crap. I'll accept that. But I call me with what they do. I'm sick of sitting here guessing because your guess is as good as mine, Ryan. I don't know what the NCAA is going to do, and frankly, I don't care anymore. I've hit that point with this Harbaugh stuff. Suspend him, fine him, do as you please. We'll see. All right, let's catch a break. We come back. We'll wrap everything up. We got time out the bracket. I cannot wait to reveal the bracket for tonight. For our best music video of all time, groups 1 and 2 will go tonight. Groups 3 and 4 tomorrow. Stay tuned. You're going to want to see the bracket. We'll wrap everything else up with the Browns. We'll get to that when we return right here on the Matt Fontana Show. We are presented by our friends at Tipico. Use that code BIGPLAY150 when you get signed up, folks. New customers. Deposit $50. Get that $150 in bonus bets plus that free $30 dog pound bet. I know Reflog has a different code too. Let me put it this way. All roads lead to Tipico. Use the code BIGPLAY150. Use that link there from Reflog if you got it on his Twitter. 500,000 Twitter followers. You can't miss it. Let's see what we got for tonight, Ryan. Should we do it again? Do you want to do it again?
I'm just waiting for your lock.
Let me get some college basketball. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I can do. There's not that many games tonight.
VCU money line.
I hate them. Hang on. I'm building one out right now. All right, I got 750s in here. I got an 8-leg parlay that gets me to minus 125. Should we do it? What did I bet yesterday? Did I bet $10 yesterday?
I think it was 20.
Did I do it? You're not supposed to chase your losses. I'll place a 15 to win 13. We're back at it again, folks, right there on Tipico. Place your bets. Here we go. Do you have some NBA action tonight? So we'll place a couple bets with that a little bit later. Sign up. Use those bonus codes. That's the best part. Have some fun with it. Throw some boosts in there. What do we got tonight on Boost? We got some action tonight. We have a parlay. Ohio money line over Buffalo. Northern Illinois over Ball State. Minus 135. Oh, I like that very much. We got some hockey going on. Can I get you a little 3-leg boost? Ohio over Buffalo. Northern over Ball State. Western Michigan over Central. Plus 199. I'm in on that for $10. Get signed up, folks. Tipico. Use that code BIGPLAY150 when you go. Boosts are the best. I love very much. I don't like VCU. I do like Tipico. Back right after this with timeout. All right, we jump at a time hop here. We are to November 7th, the dates. I got one movie for you that I truly, fully expect you to get. But nonetheless, we'll get there in just a second. We go back to this day, 2021. I remember this game, Ryan, because the Browns throttled the Bengals 41-16. Baker had 2 touchdown passes. Nick Chubb, buck 46 and 2 touchdowns. God, do I miss Nick Chubb.
Not bad.
But that was truly probably... Well, no, because Burrow was good that year. That was the year they went to the Super Bowl, was it not?
That would be 2021, yeah.
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 He played in that game. You got 2 interceptions on him. Oh, yeah, Denzel Ward had that 99-yard pick six.
I was at
too.
that game.
Were you?
Yeah.
99-yard pick 6, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what a game. Donovan Peoples-Jones had a touchdown pass. Nick Chubb's 70-yard touchdown run. All this day, 2021. This day, 2020, Ohio State beat Rutgers 49-27. Here's the interesting thing. That was only the 3rd game of the year because they were playing during COVID. They got the late start. They had to play certain games. They were only playing, here and there. So Ohio State got their 3rd win of the year, this day 2020. This day 2019, J.C. Tretter signed a 3-year extension with the Browns. That was a good signing. That was a good signing for the Browns. He played well for a year. He kind of had to fight through the injuries. He was the NFLPA president while he was here. But I thought Tretter was definitely a good signing this day 2019. This day 2004, Gears of War was released. I know it's a big, gaming enterprise. I never really got into it, though. My brother-in-law plays it.
I played a few of them. My brother was big into them.
Oh, Gears of War is huge. Yeah, it was pretty big. This day, 1999, Tiger Woods won his 4th consecutive PGA Tour event. He was the first player to do that since Ben Hogan in 1953. You'll never see anything like Tiger ever again.
GOAT.
I mean, people get upset because they're like, it's Jack. He's got more majors. I lean Tiger just because he completely revolutionized golf, but he also revolutionized sports. Because you will never see a player like Tiger Woods. And all these gaudy stats about the statistics and how bad he was beating people, it's hard to say not the best. This day, 1991, Magic Johnson announced his retirement after his HIV results. This day, 1990, Sandy Alomar won AL Rookie of the Year. At the time, he only was the 3rd player to win the award unanimously. The 2 prior, Carlton Fisk and Mark McGwire. Since then, 9 players have won the AL Rookie of the Year unanimously. But there's one for Sandy. This day, 1967, Carl Stokes became the mayor of the city of Cleveland, becoming the first African-American to be elected mayor of a major city. Of course, he's got a lot of buildings, a lot of roads aptly named for him around town. This day, 1964, the MLB approved the move of the Milwaukee Braves to Atlanta. They would actually stay in Milwaukee for one more season in 65 and then make the move in 1966. This day, 1954, the Browns beat the Washington football team 62-3. Setting the largest margin of victory in Browns team history at 59. We'll have to do that Sunday. Be nice to reset that record there a little bit. This day, 1944, this will never happen again because FDR won his 4th term of re-election as president. Of course, there's now a law in place. There's a rule. We don't go out and vote today. That's all I say. Go out and vote. I don't care what you vote for or who you vote for. Just go out there and vote.
Matt, how about I vote for Steven Vote? Shout out Cody.
Vote.
That's his new merch.
Oh, is that our new merch?
Yeah.
Where can you get that merch, Ryan?
Big Play Store.
Big Play Store, bigplay.com. Check it out there. Very happy birthday goes out to Buck Martinez, Sonny Gray, Derek Watt, Marie Curie, Lord. Whatever happened to Lord?
I don't know. I think she's still around.
David Guetta celebrating a birthday today as well. Just one movie for you today.
Let's do it.
You have no reason to not get this. A film that debuted this day, 2003. Would you like a poor synopsis or an easy layup of a quote?
Poor synopsis. Something hard.
A lost son searches for his dad.
Nemo.
No.
No. Oh, he's. Oh wait.
You're right. I mean, technically Nemo does fit,
Oh man.
but it's not Finding Nemo. It's not.
a lost. Say it again.
A son searches for his dad.
Oh my gosh, I thought I had it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
And I think Finding Nemo came out in 2003, too, but it's not the movie I'm talking about.
Okay.
The son, his dress is a little uncustomary for where he goes.
Oh man. I'm so caught up on the Nemo now. I need to
I know, it's
reset
not
my
Nemo.
brain.
Sorry.
I might need the quote, man.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Okay.
Elf is
Yeah.
correct.
That's
I've seen Elf the musical. You know, there's a musical. My wife and I went to go see it at Playhouse Square. Not bad.
I think it's because it's the 20th anniversary. So
Dude.
they're putting it back in theaters.
Do you know how much money Will Ferrell has made off of Elf? I want to pull it up. So, because I would imagine that, like, okay, Will Ferrell, because at that point, I think Old School had been out, but he hadn't done Step Brothers yet. He hadn't done Ricky Bobby yet. And could you imagine them just coming to, hey, man, we want to pitch you as an elf and make this movie? And he probably signed up and he was like, we'll see how it goes. And now, has it not become a must-watch holiday movie?
Absolutely.
It's the same thing for a musical artist. If you can get a holiday song like Mariah Carey, which I hate that freaking song, but you just get royalties over and over and over and over and over again. So Will Ferrell probably sat down and was like, all right, I'll make this movie. But it is now one of the highest grossing Christmas movies of all time. It gets over 600 rewatches a month on Netflix, which you would think would be more than that.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not more.
So he apparently got $13 million to star in it. I'm trying to find the numbers because I want to know how much he has made off of it. No, that's not it. Okay, this article's a bust. Because I want to know, like, he's got to get... Okay, so he was reportedly offered $20 million. You know they offered him $30 million to do a sequel, and he said no? $29 million he was offered to make the sequel. I want to find out how much he makes off the residuals, though. I'm not going to be able to find it. We've derailed the show at this point. It grossed $220 million against a $33 million budget. There's no way. I don't know. Because, like, just how much money he has to make off of it. Like, that's got to be insane. That's got to be insane. So, Elf is correct. This date, 2003. We'll get to the bracket in just a second, but Ryan, let's update our Twitter questions at Matt Fontana Show. 2 of them on a 2 for Tuesday. We're asking everybody, number 1, are you concerned about the Browns receiving core outside of Amari Cooper? 68-32, people say yes. Don tweets, I'm not concerned about the receivers. I'm concerned about the quarterback seeing them and getting it to him. Moore has gotten open at times. Moore has gotten so wide open that I'm waiting for OBJ's dad to make another video. Let's not have that happen again. Pat tweets, no, because they haven't been given a fair shot at being successful. I'll listen to that. You know, backup quarterback has been in there. Connie tweets, truthfully, we still don't know what we have, since Deshaun Watson has only had 2 games this season by which we could evaluate such a question. Okay? Warden tweets, y'all exaggerate. We've had a backup quarterback who is horribly throwing the ball and a quarterback who missed 4 games to give him a chance. So it sounds like everybody is piling on you can't evaluate the receivers until you evaluate the quarterback. I don't know if I live by that. I really don't know if I can subscribe to that because I know what I see. And there's always going to be the chicken or the egg. Does the receivers make the quarterback? Does the quarterback make the receivers? And in this scenario, I expect the quarterback to make the receivers. I understand what people are saying in the Twitter inbox, right? They're saying once you have Watson in there, he'll fix everything. I stopped to say that Deshaun Watson has not played well in the couple of games that we've seen him, right? So I can't instantly just throw these on his shoulder and say, hey, go turn Elijah Moore into something. Now, you want to come back and try to tell me you don't need top-tier receivers, which is the thing that I'm truthfully really having a hard time grasping. If that's what you want to go with, that they don't, you don't have to have top-flight guys. I want to leave the door open for that. I do. But, Ryan, that's a tough pill for me to swallow.
Yeah.
It really is. So with that in mind, can you win? Can you survive in the NFL with Amari Cooper? And if you say yes, it's going to fall back on Deshaun Watson. I guess I come from Deshaun Watson, get him some help. I know he's $230 million. I know you expect him to be a franchise quarterback. There's nothing against me trying to give him the most amount of help that I can. Patrick Mahomes needs help from time to time. Jalen Hurts still needs help. Put some weapons around him. Put some pieces around him. I said I wasn't going to talk down to Peoples Jones anymore, and I won't. There is time. There is plenty of time to get it figured out. Because I see the future here, Ryan. I just do. They're going to start shutting Amari Cooper down. Not the Browns. I'm talking about the other teams. They're going to blanket and bracket to Amari Cooper, and they're going to take him away. And the games that the Browns have struggled is when Amari Cooper struggles. You're not always going to be able to rip off this 60-yard pass to him. You're not always going to be able to play the Arizona secondary. You're facing a Baltimore team on Sunday that, frankly, they're going to be in the face of Deshaun Watson. They are a big and physical defense, as they normally are. They have the most amount of sacks of any team in the NFL. And you're facing them Sunday. Deshaun Watson's going to have to get that football out. You know what he can't be doing? Waiting back in the pocket for guys to get open. Okay, we brought up the separation stat earlier. Elijah Moore's top 5 in the NFL for separation yards. He better be open on Sunday. Because if you're going to have Deshaun Watson be dropping back, trying to survey the field and find somebody open, it's not going to go well. So I will reserve judgment. I said I don't like it, but I guess we will wait to see what the Browns have. Second question, NCAA or college, or I would say NCAA or college basketball. NBA or NCAA basketball, 65-35 people go with the NBA. That's fair. I mean, I think that's just kind of where I'm at. I hate college basketball. Like, to be honest, I enjoy basketball, but I'm a novice fan, Ryan, so I don't have time to get into the weeds. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I need it laid out in front of me. I need everything that I can expect. Like, that's it.
Well,
so
we're in the beginning stages where the games aren't very good. I think Friday is Duke and Arizona. That's like the real big game, first one of the season. And then obviously, it doesn't really get too interesting until you get to the conference play, which I think we're still like a month away. So yeah.
I also don't have the want to get into it, which is also the really hard part of it. Let's head over to Dan Graziano. We're going to do a little overreaction, underreaction from Week 9. So I will give you a statement, and you will tell me, Ryan, if you believe that this is an overreaction or not. Number 1, the Ravens will be the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. Overreaction, underreaction.
Overreaction.
Verdict, an underreaction. They feel like it could happen. If the season ended today, the Ravens will be the number 2 seed. They'd have the same record as the Chiefs, and Kansas City would win the tiebreaker on a better record in the conference. Now, we know that there's plenty of football to be played, but Baltimore on the way out, it's not going to be easy. Ravens have 2 key division games against the Browns and the Bengals. They'll firmly be in command of the AFC North. But they also have road games against the Chargers, Jacksonville, and San Francisco. So they have some tough games on out. Number 2, the Dolphins will flame out in the playoffs because they can't beat good teams. True or false?
True.
There's something to be said. They have, I can't get it out of early. We did it where an NFL exec said they're a Big 12 team. Where all they do is they can score points. Now, their defense, they have players. Jalen Phillips is there. Brad Chubb is there. Former Ohio State Buckeye. Jerome Baker there. Jalen Ramsey is still there. Is there something to be said about it, though? Against winning teams, here's the stat. The Dolphins are 0-3, and they average 17 points a game this season against teams with a winning record. Against teams that don't have a winning record, they're 6-0 and average 40 points a game.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that's false. I think you need one game to go your way. You need one game to go your way to kind of turn that tide a little bit. Next up, true or false, C.J. Stroud is an MVP candidate.
In no world is he going to get it, but statistically, yes, he's a candidate. But I don't think there's a scenario where he would ever get it.
He also says, and also for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I get it. And it's still early in their careers. I don't understand what Carolina was doing. I don't. And they're maybe in a different spot, but C.J. Stroud looks to be everything that you would want.
I mean,
in a quarterback.
Everything. He's top 7 in passing yards in the NFL. Has the best 14-1 turnover ratio in the NFL.
That's
which
what I'm saying.
Is
He
Tom
does not,
Brady-esque record.
What was that stat that he had 1,800 yards with only one interception?
And he leads the league in passer rating 20 yards down the field.
I mean, and these are things that are, I think, travel. This isn't something that a one-year rookie flash in the which we have seen before, and people say, okay, defenses will kind of get it figured out. I mean, he's making throws and doing things that you circle and you go, that's a franchise quarterback. That's a guy you're going to have to worry about for years to come. Again, of course, here we go. Dude, think about it this way. Mahomes, if Herbert is what we expect, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud if he's good. Let alone if one of these other teams back-ass their way into a quarterback, like Drake May or even in a couple of years. Those are the AFC quarterbacks that you got to run with. Let alone, I don't think Russell Wilson's going to be anything. I really don't. But, damn. Is Will Levis truly going to be the savior there in Tennessee? That is the quarterback gauntlet that you got to run through. Can we apply to go to the NFC, please? Can we please apply to go to the NFC? It's so easy there.
Well, and another thing with Stroud is, too, I mean, not to take away credit to, I think Tank Dell's a really good receiver, but, I mean...
Yeah, he's not doing it with... Yeah, that's a good point.
But Dalton Schultz, I mean, average tight end at best, I'm sorry. And then Noah Brown. I mean, it's not like that's Noah Brown's first ever breakout game, and that's more to do with C.J. Stroud. He's doing it with limited weapons, and it's been so impressive.
True or false, the NFC East race is over. It is the Eagles all the way.
Absolutely.
True. I completely agree with you on that. He says that is an overreaction. Why? Everybody's got this thing about Dallas.
I don't.
Everybody's got this thing about Dallas.
I mean, if they played every game the rest of the season at home, I'd listen.
Is Dallas closer to being good or bad?
They're closer to being good, I think, but it's...
There are 3 losses this year. That's shocker to the Cardinals, the 49ers, and the Eagles. They've beaten the Giants, the Jets, the Patriots, the Chargers, and the Rams. They have one good win.
Yeah.
One. They beat the Jets the week after they lost Aaron Rodgers, and they beat the Chargers barely.
I mean, you could say the same thing.
Cowboys on the way out. Giants, Panthers, Commanders, Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders. A little stretch there. Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, and Dolphins.
I don't know that. Well, so, Matt, would you say the Browns are closer to being good or bad?
Good.
Right, but you could say the same thing about the Browns, I guess. One good win, really, because you could take the Bengals, but it was without Joe Burrow.
Okay, here's my thing. For some reason, I feel like there's more shine on the Cowboys. People are like, oh, my God, the Cowboys. And I get it because they're America's team. That's why.
That's definitely
true. I feel like the hype between the Cowboys and the Browns are not on the same. Because I would tell you this. If the Browns had the hype that the Cowboys do, I'd be like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah,
we need to slow things down just a little bit.
Yeah, then
Dak is a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson right now. That's a fact. As much as I crap on Dak, and I was doing it earlier, he's better than Deshaun Watson right now. Final one, overreaction, underreaction. We've turned it basically into true and false. The Giants will take a quarterback in the first round of next year's draft. Danny Dimes out, ACL. Jones has $36 million in fully guaranteed, but they can get out of it after next year without owing him a dime.
Do you know what pick they'd have right now?
I've actually been very happily not looking at the NFL draft order because I don't care because we don't have a pick. Tankathon, they have the 4th overall pick right now. Couple more losses, they could get up past Chicago. Right now, the picks go Arizona, Chicago, because of Carolina's pick. Giants, New England. If we had our first pick right now, we'd be picking 23rd.
So that's an interesting question about the Giants because like you look at the fact, okay, is Arizona? Do they still believe Kyler Murray's their future?
He's starting this weekend, by the way.
Yeah, and I kind of have the feeling, obviously anything could change, that if I were them and you do trust Kyler Murray, they're probably going to trade back.
What if the Giants just jumped up to 1
That's what I'm saying. If they do that, then
I would do that. If I'm
then
Arizona,
they're going to get Caleb Williams. I would do that. Yeah,
I would. And then I actually think Chicago's going to go non-quarterbacks there. So we'll see.
yeah, I agree.
Are you ready to go? Do we have the bracket? Is it up? Ready to go, folks? I'm super excited about this one. We got
Let's look at
into
it.
Thriller last week on the show. So we will do the best music video of all time. Group 1, Thriller, Sabotage, November Rain, and You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. Group 2, very heavy early favorite, Take On Me by Aha. We're Not Gonna Take It, Twisted Sister, Purple Rain, Prince, and Smells Like Teen Spirit from Nirvana. Group 3, Hot for Teacher, Van Halen, Here I Go Again, Whitesnake, Staying Alive, Bee Gees, and Here It Goes Again by OK Go. Ryan's new favorite music videos. He saw it for the first time today. And Group 4, which dude, I can't pick in Group 4. Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel, Bittersweet Symphony, California Love, and Black Hole Sun. That's tough.
I think this is our toughest bracket.
That's good. That's a really tough bracket. It's going to be a lot of fun. So here's what we do. Groups 1 and 2 will go tonight at Matt Fontana Show. We'll retweet it everywhere. I'm sure we got a big play to retweet these.
Yeah.
I think these get some massive votes here.
Yeah.
And again, reminder, it's 1 out of every group. So maybe put that in the bracket, or when you send the tweet out, Ryan, please put in there top vote getter advances. Okay. So that way people know that this is just group. Because people are going to see that. I'm like, what's... I can't tell you. Ryan, I've been doing this bracket for about 3 years now. Actually, no, I'm sorry, longer than that. On my first run at my other spot, I think it's like year 5 of me doing the bracket. And especially on the ones that are super popular that people really love, I always get the tweet, where's Bittersweet Symphony? Wait a minute, you forgot California Love. And it's like, no, it's in another bracket. Calm down. So we'll send out the full bracket. And then we'll send out the poll. So just put top vote getter advances. Follow us at Matt Fontana Show. Get us over that 300 mark. Vote on that. We'll see. Ryan, where's your vote going in Group 1? Thriller probably will get it.
Yeah,
Sabotage is close.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just kind of has to be Thriller.
And I think Take On Me, as our number 1 seeds there, probably will advance.
Yeah, I would assume so. Take On Me is
really good.
Really
it's a
well
good
done.
So that's up at Matt Fontana Show. Vote there. Back for a Wednesday edition tomorrow, 9 to 11. Do not forget Chico, 12 to 2. Nick Shook here for the hour. The bald, beautiful. Am I throwing beautiful in there? Is that
I
actually
think so?
Is it the bald, bold Browns breakdown?
I think it's just the bald, bold breakdown.
Okay. They're good-looking guys. I don't know what to tell you. So I throw it in there, the beautiful part of it. That comes up every Tuesday with Chico. I'm scrolling quick to try to find it. We got to get out of here. They have a graphic for it. I know that. Anyway, Chico 12 to 2. Don't forget coming up as well tonight, Josh and Maria Cripps. The bold, bald breakdown is exactly what it is. The bold, bald. I throw in the beautiful breakdown with Chico and Nick Shook today. That's 12 to 2. Check it out. Big Play, iHeart, everywhere you need to go. And Josh and Maria tonight. That's it for us on a Tuesday edition. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. And as always, take it easy.